I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be lost.
What is going on, everybody? Thank y'all so much for rocking out with us for another episode. Yo, we told y'all the guest is going to be crazy. This episode, I have the pleasure of interviewing my brother from across the pond, my man Miggs, best known as Loboverse. Bro, what is up, fam? How you feeling, man?
My pleasure, my pleasure. Being in your show, bro. Yo, I just thought I'd come and support and, do this interview. Again, loving the platform that you're bringing, a night in. And hey, I'm here just, to answer some questions, if there's anything that, people want to know about. Obviously, Spencer's going to handle it today. So, again, appreciate you having me on the show, bro. Honestly, so.
Absolutely,
yeah,
man. Absolutely, man. And the pleasure is all ours, for real. So, look, let's get right to it. My Miggs, Loboverse, I should say.
It's okay. Miggs, Loboverse, Miguel, but obviously, people know me as Loboverse when I get into my poetry bag. So,
right,
you know what it is.
Right.
So,
and that's why we're here. They trying to get to know the artist behind that pen game, behind the bars, behind running them silvers back, behind all that. They trying to get to know the artist behind all that. So,
oh man.
What's Loboverse's origin story? How do we get to this point today? Like,
oh man, Loboverse. I mean, in terms of poetry in itself, it's a separate thing because I've always been a person who would be into writing lyrics. Being a music head, hip hop especially. From when I was 12, 13, and it's just been my interest. I love wordplay. There's a lot of MCs back in the day I look up to, the Nas's, the Big L's, and the Method Mans and whatnot. And you got the Parks and all that. But I think when it came down to poetry, though, obviously we had the lockdown 2 years ago. The whole world shut down, and everyone was locked in their house. So it was one of those things where my boy Kinnear, shout out to Kinnear. He reached out to me. He said, "Look, man, like the writer like K." He reached out to me, and do you know what? And prior to the lockdown, he had already been reaching out to me before because he knew I was writing a few things. Okay. Yeah. So, but every time he reached out to me, I'd just be like, maybe another time. Just not brushing it off, but I wasn't in that space.
Right. Right. That makes sense.
So, but then lockdown happens, and he goes, "Look, we got a poetry group, Literate Vibes, every Friday. We do different topics here and there." And I was like, "Oh, let me give it a shot. I do like lyrics. I ain't done it in a while. Let me see what's up." So so jumped onto that, and since then it was like it just woke up something.
Oh wow!
And so this is summer 2020, spring summer 2020. Okay. So, it woke up something, and it was just like I got the love to write again back. I got it back in, and I was like, wait a minute, I know I can spit. I know I can
right.
Put together words and whatnot. Why not do it in poetry?
Right. Hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt, but let's not just skim past the point that this brother just said. He's only been spitting poetry for 2 years. You said summer 2020?
Summer 2020.
Bro,
2 years.
That's bananas, man.
Summer 2020.
Yo,
2 years.
That growth has been crazy, bro.
I mean, to be honest, it has been a growth process, as you said. And it's been a therapeutic process too, because
absolutely,
I felt, the literal vibes came at a right time where, again, being in lockdown, it was a shock to a lot of people's systems. It wasn't the norm, so it was, so doing poetry was an outlet, and it wasn't a thing where it was done like a chore, but you actually had fun doing it. You know what I mean? So it was refreshing. So when we got to that place where it was every week of doing literate vibes and writing a piece on a topic every week, it felt like a training process.
Right. Almost like a poetry boot camp, almost. Yeah.
That's it. And
I get it.
Yeah, and I got so used to it to the point where like I woke up every day and I'm just everything seems to be something I can use, a point of reference.
Yeah.
And by this time I hadn't even come up with the name Loboverse yet. It was just Miguel from London.
Oh, wow.
It was just Miguel from London. I'm just contributing every Friday, or whatever weekend, and every now and then we'll have an event. Mm-hmm. And I think there was one piece where the topic was dance, and I wrote a piece where I was referencing a lot of 90s music, a lot of 90s references, like A Tribe Called Quest, MJ, LL Cool J.
Okay.
A lot of things you can think of. And from that piece was the one I thought, you know what? I'm back. I've even though I was writing before that, obviously during the whole lockdown, but I thought, okay, that was like the intro piece to me actually, being okay, cool. I can actually do my wordplay and express myself in this way that people can actually relate to. So, but again, still hadn't come up with the name Loboverse yet. So I just kept on thinking. I was thinking like, I need a name. So, I like wolves. That was my thing. Like wolves is my favorite animal. There's a lot of reasons why I like wolves, but we can get into that if we want. And I didn't want you to be called the wolf.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't want to be called the wolf. The poetry. None of that. So
the poetry wolf. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that. So I was like, okay, what's wolf in a different language? And it's obviously in Portuguese, it's lobo. In Spanish, is lobo or lobos. And I was like, okay, cool, lobo. I'll go with that. And then it was like, okay, I don't want to go with lobo. I need like something that will stand out, something that would have a ring to it. And I was like, okay, cool. I write verses. Every now and then I write a verse. Ooh, cool, Loboverse. And I was like, okay, well, when I'm writing these verses, I'm bringing people to my world. So again, right. Loboverse, universe.
Right.
You understand? It's a play on word right there. So in a sense, you can say essentially it's like a double entendre.
Yeah.
Of a name. So there you go. Loboverse was born, late summer 2020. And since then, it's just been nonstop, writing. And this is even before I had met anyone from, let's say, the City Series group, or I even met Kanaya, even Tim. I think I met Tim probably the end of the year. Okay. So I was still doing my rounds over here in the UK, and it just became a thing where it was part of me at that point. So yeah.
That's dope, bro. That's super, super dope. And we'll get into that, because I feel like your growth and your evolution, we should say, has been something that, and in the short period that I've known you, because we've known each other, maybe a year now, maybe a little over a year. Yeah. It's like the first piece I heard from you, and please forgive me, because I don't even remember the title of it. I just remember the line, "We can run them silvers back," and I was like, "Yo, who is this dude?" Yo, who is this brother?
That was Melody of Betrayal. Yeah, I remember.
Melody of Betrayal. Right. But that piece had such a level of sincerity to it, and it was controlled. Like it was a depiction of like anger that you really wanted to release, but you knew that if you did, that would affect you negatively, but it would also more importantly affect your relationship with Jehovah. So to take that concept of being able to have self-control, to take that concept of being able to have such feelings and to deliver it in such a way where it's so relatable, having such references and having such like a personal impact on you.
Yeah.
In turn, it just resonated with a ton of people, because I know I'm not the only one who feels the same. Because I actually met you through City Series. So
Okay.
transitioning into that, because I think it was a pop-up when I heard that, because I think that's how I met you. That's how I met Canary. That's how I met Raimi. Like City Series, bro, it's crazy how City Series literally like got us all connected in some way.
I actually remember the first time I performed on City Series pop-up. Now this was April. My memory's a bit crazy like that. April last year, probably like end of April.
2021. Yep.
2021. Tim, he shouted me out. He goes, "Yo, there's a pop-up on Sunday. You know, so it's me, Kinnear, and my bro Jerome. I think we went first because obviously time difference here in the UK. And I had done a piece called "Stay Grounded" at that time about gravity. You know, and I think there's one point where I actually threw my hat. I remember that night. and then Melody of Betrayal, I had performed it first time on Kene's live on IG. And I do remember adding you at that point on IG. I was like, oh, so sounds okay. You know, he's a poet. You know, I'm sure he's dope. So let me check him out. You know what I mean? So yeah. So Melody of Betrayal, I did it on. This is probably around what, July, if I'm guessing correctly, July 2021, because that was a because I joined into the actual City Series event to watch at that point. This was around about May, June time.
Yeah.
And after I saw that City Series, I was like, okay, I need to up my game on this.
Bro, I felt the same way, because I was actually on that one. I was on Quarantine City Series 3, because that's how I met a lot of y'all. Because I remember meeting you through Darren. I met a couple people through Pop Up. But yeah, man, like, bro, I understand that feeling, bro.
Listen, I went back to the drawing board, and and I was thinking, I need to write a piece that will just take it there. And yeah, there was born Melody of Betrayal. And then since that just it helped get my name out there, because since that day, I think after that same week, Kanaya reached out to me. A few people had reached out to me. They were like, yo, I love the piece on the live. I was like, wow, okay. I didn't even realize, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I think that added that gave me encouragement to keep going, because I was like, well, if I'm going to try and be as good as the people that I saw in City Series 3, I really need to put myself out there. And Tim, he guided me and telling me, look, if you want to jump on a show, just let me know. He wasn't a thing where he was trying to put me on because he knows me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't that. It was like, okay, let me do the legwork. And then when I'm ready, I'll do it. And then I think there was one pop-up in September that last year where I'd actually opened it and closed it.
I remember that. I was on that pop-up. Yep.
Yeah, you
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I closed it with Melody of Betrayal, which I think, that's when I did it. Yeah.
I do remember that, man. That's awesome, bro. It's wild how this, like you said earlier, this pandemic connected so many people in so many different areas, and it obviously Jehovah is our common ground because we're all brothers and sisters, but it's just been like amazing to be able to get to know people on such an artistic level, because for those who watch this podcast and don't know, artists work, real artists work, they're very sentimental about their work. So it's very rare that you'll get someone like literally giving you all of them unfiltered. But that's exactly what happened with us. That's exactly what happened to yourself and me, like with Pop, Kanaya, Tim, Jill, like everyone. It's like everyone kind of like used this pandemic, and we're not all in the same area, like to put it in
No.
perspective. Like
Yeah.
we're talking like states and Migs, you're in the UK, like we're talking like literally global.
Exactly. Global. That's it. Global.
It's something like a literal global connection, and it's been like super dope to be able to have this bond develop and to be able to grow. And with that, after City Series, after it's all right, my stamp is here. A couple people reach out. Where do I go from here? Like, what was your mentality? Like, what was your game plan to develop and build Loboverse?
So I mean, even when Kanai reached out to me, gave me his props and whatnot. And I was asked. So let's say that the period from September to December, that last quarter of the year, it was a thing where I was like, okay, cool. Let me just keep this up. Let me just keep writing. Let me just have that, have that hunger and keep writing. Not for anyone else, but for me.
Right.
So that's where my mindset was. So I did. There was, part of me wasn't in a mode where I was like, okay, well, these guys here, they be spitting. So how do I measure up to the? It's natural. You're gonna compare in some way or form. You're gonna compare to get better, but not in a way that you think, oh, I want to be better than this guy. It's like, well, for me anyway. But it was like, okay, well, I don't want to be just seen as the token UK guy. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, that's an honest feeling, bro. I definitely can understand that.
So they need to understand that I'm not just an accent. It's like, yo, when it comes to spitting, I can actually do this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not in a conceited, arrogant way. It's like, yo, I'm right. I'm saying some stuff.
Right. Yeah, like you have work that's very, it's clever, but it's personal. Like it's real, it's honest, it's sincere, but it's hard, bro. Like you got bars, bro. And the one thing that I love about your artistry is how you take reality and it's almost like putty in your hands, like the way you talk about it. Like when you really like break down your bars, like you have so many different pop culture references, you have so many different movie references, and like you have references that are commonplace for people in other countries, but and understand even the nuances of it, like you're there. Like that is such a gift, man, because not a lot of people, not a lot of artists. Correction. Let me back that up.
It's okay.
It takes a certain type of artist to be able to know themselves, understand themselves, and to be themselves. There's, like you said before, there are a number of artists who would try to compare and say, oh, I want to be like them, or I want to be like that artist, or I want to be better than that artist, or I want to like get to this point. And the art is lost within their motivation.
That's it.
But on the other hand, the art is your motivation. It's like, it's not that you don't care if anyone likes it, but you said something that's very important as an artist. And even as a developer, like, because this applies even like outside of art. If you don't love it and it's not a reflection of you, the quality of it isn't going to be there.
That's it, because you're just pandering to what you think the audience wants, and obviously you want to reach the audience. You do.
Right.
You do want to reach the audience. You do want to showcase something that someone in the audience is going to relate to. But at the same time, like you said, if it's a thing where the motive or the drive is not something for self, then where's the art?
Exactly.
Where's the originality? Man. You can be inspired and whatnot, but at the same time, do it for the love of it.
Exactly.
and let me be real with you. There's been little, you know, moments here and there where I don't feel like writing, and that's when I don't, because if I do force myself to write at that point, it's just like it's not going to come out great,
right,
or like I want it to. You know what I mean? So
right.
I need to have that inspiration, that need maybe like a rejuvenation of things to write about. And think, okay, cool. Yeah. Let me touch on that. You know what I mean? And maybe put it on a vote for a while, and I come back on it. So the love has to be there, you know. And it's not to say that you know, the love being there would mean that, oh, whatever you're going through is all hunky dory. No, you could be going through
right
a lot of things, but then the love to write is still there. If it's not there, leave it for the time being. Relax.
Hey, and that's an artist being honest with himself, because some artists, and myself included, I felt the pressure of wanting to make sure that the piece I'm working on now is better than the previous one or the two previous pieces. And then at times I begin to force it. And then you get lazy with bars. Then you like that, those creative juices aren't flowing the way that they need to. And it lessens the quality of what you're putting out. And then it's not the dope pieces you put out before that people recognize from you. It's the, oh, are we now seeing who this artist really is? Like, like were they a flash in the pan? Or, and I'm not saying from a business standpoint, because I mean, let's be real. Granted, we're brothers and sisters, but on the same token, poetry is something that that we use as a means to communicate with one another.
Yeah.
But there are some of us who actually use this as a means of income. And not to say that like we're mixing out there in the world or anything like that. No, like authors, spoken word artists, you are about to drop an album, and we're going to dig into that in a little bit. And like there are literal projects that people are taking the time to put out. So if you get lazy with the bars, or if you get lazy with the quality of it, then the listener is going to be like,
what's going on here? Like, you know,
that's nice.
Yeah.
So with that said, how do you feel like taking the mindset that you have and taking that particular approach with your art has helped you to evolve at the pace and in the direction that you're currently you're moving in? Like, how do you feel like those things have played a factor into you developing Loboverse and ultimately seeing yourself achieving the goals that you have for Loboverse?
Okay, so you know, with that mindset that I have now, it's I feel it's helped me to first of all appreciate the art, as we just said.
Absolutely.
And second, to remain modest, to remain keep my feet on the ground. So, you know, because with poetry, if you know you're becoming good at something, you can easily go off the rails. You think, yeah, I am that guy. I can yada yada, more bravado and whatnot. Now, you know, some of my pieces may have a little jab here and there. You know what I mean? So, but I feel it's helped me to stay grounded. It's helped me to really dig in to the inner person and be like, okay, well, what you're presenting is a piece of you. So how would you want to present yourself to the people? Exactly. You know, you don't want to sugarcoat it, but at the same time, you don't want to present something that's too far left. You know, so it's helped me keep a balance on what I say. It's helped me keep, you know, maybe one day I might feel like, you know, dropping a piece that's like, it's like, yeah, I'm talking that talk, but there's a message. Also as well, you know, because a lot of us can get very lyrical with our bars and whatnot. You know, not in the sense of rapping, but obviously poetry is giving you that space to, you know, use metaphors in a way, maybe stretch it a bit, you know, come back to it. But at the same time, the thing is, what are you saying? That's the main thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, what are you saying?
Exactly.
At the end, so my mindset is, what is my message? What am I saying? Sometimes, with pieces, it may take a while for people to understand what you're saying because there's always layers.
Absolutely.
There's always layers in what you say. I mean, it could be the most simplest of bars, but that bar can mean multiple things.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
that's where you get the double, triple, quadruple entendres, and like you get the like as big bros like to say, Kanaya and Abe, that's where you get that replay value from. You get it from putting substance in people's ears to make them have to go back to make sure that they're not missing anything.
That's the word, substance. Because I mean, and it's not to say that all your pieces have to be
not at all
or serious. Because I've got pieces called cartoons. Now, mind you, cartoons is very wordplay-ish. There's a lot of references of cartoons from the 80s, 90s, or whatnot. But at the same time, if you have heard cartoons all the way through, even though I'm using references, but there's still a message there.
Right.
There's still a message.
right.
I'm not just saying, Dragon Ball Z, no. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not just throwing characters there. I mean, in a way I am, but they're well placed in the sense where they need to be said at the right time so you can really, understand where I'm going with it. Right. So yeah, like you said, substance and a message. So the mindset that I've had since Melody of Betrayal has been like, okay, what am I really saying? What's my aim here? So, and that's my approach to a lot of my pieces these days. Mind you, there are times when I just want to go off and just spit.
Yeah, I mean, naturally. Understood. So let me ask you, with that said, what's your writing process like then? Like, because if you for it to be articulated in such a way and have that continuity and uniformity, where even if you're talking about different topics, you're making sure that each piece has a point, has a purpose, and is going to accomplish a goal. Like, what is your writing process to develop the content, pen the content, and then polish it, for lack of a better word?
So my writing process at first, it was very sort of all over the place. It was like, I'll probably hear a phrase or a word, and maybe I hadn't heard the word before,
Right. Okay.
I research the word, and I was like, oh, that's what it means. And then that word could be, the meaning of it could be something that I've experienced. So I'll be like, okay, now what can I write about this? So I've got a word now, or phrase, if you will. And I start working off that. What thing is that I start brainstorming what things can be related to that word, And then after a while, it'll be like, okay, cool, I've got a concept, but then I don't fully go in yet. But then the next day, after I've slept on it, I'll think of one or two lines. I think, okay, I can start off this way. But then it's funny because there's been times where I've started off with an intro line or three lines, and then at the end of the final, when it comes to the final actual draft, those are not my intro lines. They're probably like in the middle somewhere.
Right.
So it's crazy because once you've got that concept or idea in your head, things will start coming back to you. You think, okay, I can use this, and all of a sudden, the world is basically your inspiration. You can be on a train, you hear a train announcement or something, boom, you see an advert on it contributes to it. So for me, it's more of like an intake kind of thing. So like, I'll think of it, let it marinate, and then I go about my business and whatnot. But then it's still at the back of my mind. I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe I can add to that,
Yeah.
And it gets to a point where a lot of things might come back to me. I think, you know what? I'm just going to use part of this for that piece, and then part of that for another piece. And before I know it, I got two pieces. So, but then that was early on. So now it's more like, I have to make sure that I stick to a theme. So we're going to touch on it soon. I dropped a piece called Cry Wolf recently, this week.
He's too dope.
Appreciate it, man. And I stuck to the theme,
Yeah.
it was to do with, well, I mean, it wasn't to do with literal wolf, but the theme was the struggle like within me, like, between good and evil. That was the theme. So if you heard that piece, you hear I'm not angry, but it's someone who is in a situation where a lot may not understand him at that point. So he's basically saying, look, I'm in a struggle here. So whatever happens from now, I don't know, but I'm trying. So, and I even say, this internal battle doesn't concern you if you're not here to help. So,
right.
So, and again, it goes with the whole thing about which wolf you're going to feed and whatnot. One's evil, one's good. So there's that internal struggle going on there. So, yeah, just keeping with that theme.
Yeah, nah, that's dope, bro. And you could tell because like just to segue into it, and I really like, and again, this comes from, again, making sure that you have a purpose in mind for whatever it is that you do, whether it's a piece, a project, a performance, whatever you do. And the one line in that piece that really stands out to me is like, even before you start spitting, because like your bars was like crazy in that, bro. But like just the question, the way that I don't want to give too much away about it, but the question that's answered, which one is going to win? And the answer is whichever one you decide to feed.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, like that resonated because it's so many people that, even in the truth, that have an internal grapple where they're trying to identify themselves to themselves.
Yep.
And that's such a powerful point to touch on. And it really hones in on the need to be self-aware, the need to be conscious, the need to be understanding of who you are with whatever it is that you decide to do, whether you're a poet, whether you're a singer, whether you're a content creator, whatever you decide to. If you work a 9-to-5, understand who you are within a role of working your 9-to-5. Like, understanding who you are as a person not only makes it easier for you to love and appreciate and value yourself, but it also makes it easier for Jehovah to do so as well. So, and when it's all said and done, whatever it is we do, he's the root of it. Like, exactly. We can't do any of this without his blessing and direction. So, like that, like to touch on such a topic, it is very, very encouraging, and it's very much so needed because, again, certain artists won't touch certain topics because they may be fearful of how it could be received. Mm-hmm. But when you step out of that comfort zone and you say what others may be scared to say, that's when they like, yo, I rocks with Loboverse because he understands me. Like, he gets what I'm going through. You may have never met that person or had a conversation with that person a day in your life, but when you say something that someone else is thinking, that connection, like, it's like y'all been fan forever. So,
and I do feel touching on that it is also down to articulation, because
exactly,
someone may not know how to word how they feel it, right? And there you come with how you say it, and it just hits. So articulation is definitely key when writing a verse or writing a certain line that someone may resonate with. So definitely on that part.
Absolutely. Yeah, so let's shift gears a little bit before we dig into the project. Taking all of the artistry, the development, the purpose, and the focus with writing and the type of content that you want to put out, what has that done for the man? Like, how has Miguel benefited from such an element that is now an integral part of your life, and how has it affected you in every way, mentally, spiritually, emotionally? Like, how have you grown as a person throughout this process?
It's I feel with poetry in itself, I might not be speaking for everyone, but I personally feel that a certain level of vulnerability is needed for you to actually share a piece of yourself. And for me personally, it's helped me to not be afraid of my vulnerability. And that's one thing I've struggled with personally as well too, because obviously, like, you're scared. You don't know how people are going to take it. You don't know how someone's going to treat what you're saying. And it's helped me it's helped me grow as a man. And it may sound cliche, but there's just a lot of things you start appreciating. Now, I'm going to sort of separate, because obviously with being a man in this world, there's a lot of, you need to be tough, this, that, and the third. There is pressure, and I feel it's helped me regulate a lot of that. And feel, you know what? Look, this is my truth, right? So I get to speak on it. I mean, not in a forceful way, not in a way that I'm thinking, okay, you got to agree with everything I'm saying. I'm just letting you know this is what I'm going through. And there's days where I'm happy, there's days where I'm sad, and there's days where I don't want to say anything. You get me? Right. So it's helped me regulate and just appreciate being in a moment as well. Being in a moment of understanding where I'm at in life. And if I'm in a hurting process, I'll be, okay, cool, well, here's where I am now. How do I deal with this? I mean, so a lot of growth personally has been added to it, because it's opened doors to a lot of things, whether it's new friendships, whether it's just appreciating your family and just seeing things from a different perspective, as opposed to what I may have been, let's say 2 or 3 years ago. So, and I'm more willing to show myself in a sense, and again, carry on reaching out to someone, whether it's in a fun piece, a sad piece, whatever the case may be. But I want someone to, if they want to listen to Loboverse, they'll be like, okay, cool, I want to relate to that guy. I can relate to that person, and just remind people that, yo, we're all human. That's my thing. Remind that we're all human. We all go through things in different ways. We all process things differently. But in terms of growth, personally, as just someone who just wants to, learn, because I'm always open to learning. No one here has all the answers. that's one thing that, so and that's the thing, and that's another thing, just to stop being so hard on myself, and just sometimes think, okay, well, you're not going to know everything. Let it, give time to learn something, give time to process it, and feel and live it, because experience comes with things that we don't understand. Because how are you meant to be experiencing something? If you understand everything, I don't think you're going to be experienced. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of things happen to us where it's unexpected, but from that situation, you learn and you have experience, and then you're able to share it or pass it through to the next person. So yeah, I just feel that it's definitely helped me grow as a person. It's helped me appreciate the ones I love, and I wanna reach out to those who may be going through something, and maybe cheer them up, say I can relate to them, and yeah, that's been my thing ever since.
And man, that's powerful, bro, because you're right. Like, in the world, there are so many misconceptions on who a woman or who a man is supposed to be, but that's not who humans are. Like, that's not how Jehovah created us.
No.
Like, we are developed to, like, have emotions, to have feelings, to like live in a way where we're happy, but we are happy within our own individuality, because no two men are the same, no two women are the same.
No.
Like, it's wild. And to have to weather that storm, especially doing so as a Christian, to have to weather that storm, it can be tough. It can be tough. And utilizing outlets like this, like you said, can help those connections to come together in order for us to help build each other up. Because, I mean, Jesus said that is what sets us apart. Like, us having love amongst one another, us being able to have that camaraderie, and us being able to relate to one another, because we understand that due to imperfection, we all need to be encouraged, or we all need to be built up, or we all may need a a good word at the right time. And bro, I can honestly say your poetry does that. Like your poetry does that, regardless of the emotion, it really captures that. And like Cry Wolf really takes that vulnerability to another level, because again, Melody of Betrayal, like, and what's the other cartoons, like that you get to know a more serious side, but then you get to know more fun side. But then Cry Wolf is like you get to know the honest side of you, and it's taking the different elements of Loboverse or Megs, and you're putting them in such a way to where we can listen to it and not just relate, but hear ourselves in those words. And it I don't want to say it's life changing, but it very well could be, because sometimes like people who are that deep into a struggle where they're literally grappling with certain emotions that may take, if they choose the wrong wolf, figuratively speaking, it could take them down a course where it could be very dangerous. But hearing a poem or a song or a statement or a scripture or a word at the right time in whatever capacity can very well be the difference in someone understanding and viewing themselves and understanding that they are not alone in their battle. Never met that person, but they understand that they're not alone. So let's segue into that. Let's dig a little deeper. How is that an element of the new project, B.L.U.E?
So Cry Wolf is, it's actually the official intro. Now, I know most artists don't really release the intro for an album, but I thought for this one, let me just set the tone until September comes, So again, Cry Wolf, talking about the struggle, but then there's going to be elements on that project where it's going to show different aspects, of the struggle, maybe happiness at one point, maybe dealing with relationships, issues, dealing with betrayal, So, but the whole premise is that whatever you're going through, you keep going. You don't give up. So hence the acronym: believe, learn, understand, and evolve. So basically, don't stay in the same spot. That's you got to believe that you can get out of it. You got to learn new ways. You got to understand it, and once you've understood what you've learned, it changes you. So you evolve. And it's, even though Cry Wolf has this sort of like gritty kind of feel to it, like you said, it's honest. My mum, I sound like someone who's just had enough. I'm thinking, you know what? But throughout the album, you got pieces like Baby Hairs and Braids. It's touching on love and whatnot. If you haven't heard that, it's on my bio on IG. And that's touching on relationships, and and it could be other ones there where I'm maybe touching on daydreaming, just going through that. Okay. So it's just a human representation of stuff that I've been through, but just portrayed in art form. So, and then with the name, do you want to get into the name B.L.U.E, or?
Yeah, go ahead. By all means, bro.
So the name B.L.U.E, now my friends they've joked to me about this whole thing all the time. Blue is my favorite color, right? Blue is my favorite color, and I've heavily been influenced by the West Coast. Now here comes the joke, because they'd be like, "Oh, you crippin', you set tripping." I'm like, "No, I just like blue." You know what I mean?
Fellas, one, don't problem, not at all.
You know what I mean? I just like blue. It just so happens that when I was growing up and getting to know hip hop, I was listening to more West Coast stuff. And I got influenced by that. As I grew up, when it comes to the Cortezes, the plaid shirts, and just blue. I didn't even know about Crip or Blood until I was like 15. So I was like, what is this? So I didn't know there was a whole thing there, even though blue was my thing. So it just so happens it's that. But hey, it is what it is. But That's my favorite color, and I just thought, let me combine things that I like. I like wolves. I like the color blue, and there you go. And I thought, okay, what? I didn't want to call just the album Blue because people be like, why do you call it Blue? But then there had to be a meaning behind an acronym. There had to be something else behind it, you know. So, and I feel the marriage between the whole wolf theme and the whole blue theme and all that, I think it's just meshed really well. And it's gonna, present something hopefully that people enjoy and people can go back to, So that's my thing on that. It's gonna be, different aspects of that, a few skits here and there, and maybe some surprise guests. You never know. So I'm kind of nipping in the bud on that. But I just wanted to also I always thought to myself when I was young, I was like, oh, let's say if I was a rapper or an artist in the world or whatnot, how would I want my rap album to sound like? Now, with my close boys that know me, shout out to Dean and Bradley if you see this, whenever you see this, those are my homies. They know when it comes to music, I'm very, very particular. Very particular. Sometimes I can be stubborn in some ways. I'm not always open to a lot of things. So I would want it to sound a certain way. If not, then forget it. So with that's it. So with spoken word, obviously we're not rapping on anything, but you can still add backing tracks to it. And I thought, okay, cool. This is something close to it. So this is close to me making my own personal album, right?
Right.
So I want it to be a thing where if people heard the intro as in Cry Wolf, they know where that is from. They know, like, okay, boom, you know what the following track is going to be after that. That's what I think personally. That's what makes a classic album. Yeah. Like the intro has to be banging, and then if at the end of one track you remember what the next track is. To me, that is classic, or it's something that's influential to you at the time. Not to say my album's gonna be a classic. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But I do want to make something memorable. Within and like I was saying to I think Lawrence, I was saying to yesterday, I was like, yo, this ain't me. This is us. You know what I mean? This is a product of us. Obviously I'm doing the individual work here, but the way what the poetry circuit has allowed us to do is this. Yeah, absolutely. Something to share for everyone else too, obviously. So, so even if someone's not featured into it or whatnot, but just know that some point before that time, they had an influence in me doing that. So it's like I said, it's not me, it's all us. So shout out to everyone, Poetry Corner, whether it is City Series or what have you, Literate Vibes, all this is all us.
So. That's awesome, man. That is super awesome, bro. Man, we definitely cannot wait to hear that. You got a release date yet?
September the 9th.
September 9th. All right.
September 9th. So I know people be like, oh, when's the date? I know you said September. We need an actual date. So I'm like, don't worry, very soon. I thought, okay, let me just release, give the release date. So September the 9th, 2022. So that's early fall or autumn. Starting to get us through those months as it gets darker. You know what I mean? So but September the 9th, it'll be done and sealed. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it when you hear it. You might have heard a few snippets here and there. And if you are in, the whole poetry circuit as well, the Poetry Corner and whatnot, a lot of the, well, not a lot, some of the tunes that you may hear or pieces you may hear on the album, you may have heard me perform before, but you just haven't heard it in album format. Right. So, it's going to be a lot of enhanced pieces, so still keep, nipping that in the bud. But yeah, man, I can't wait. I can't wait to get things done and really present everything. I mean, I was even nervous, like on Thursday to even drop Crowd Wolf. I was like, okay, how they gonna receive it? And the thing is, with that piece especially, I didn't want to go bar heavy either. I wanted it to be a piece where it like I said, it sets the tone. Right. Obviously, like I said, I threw a few little jabs. I didn't go for the right hook. I thought, okay,
nah, that makes sense, man.
You know,
Yeah, man.
so
I mean, you don't want to knock their head off of bars and start it off because then
nah,
they still gonna be thinking about what you just said. They're not gonna be able to enjoy the rest of the project, man. So
that's it.
it's definitely always beneficial to take a calculated approach, especially when you're doing something that's an extended project.
Mhm.
So, hey, man, we can't wait, bro. We cannot wait.
Appreciate
September
that.
9th cannot come fast enough, bro. Man, this has been an awesome time, fam. And again, we definitely can't wait to hear more from Loboverse. We can't wait to hear more. I hear B.L.U.E September 9th.
Mhm.
Do you know what platforms it's going to be on yet, or are you still working those details out?
So my aim is to have an audio Mac. So I'm trying to make
Okay.
sure, yeah. Any sort of loosies that I drop will be on Reverb Nation, as the link is on my bio. You know, but as a whole body of work will be on Audio Mac. So once I need to get that, sort of panned out and sorted out, it's gonna be, sort of available for people to stream, and I'll share the link on my page. And also, for those that I do have another page called Blue Wolf, which is BL, 2 U's, 2 E's, Wolf. So on that page, it's more like, you get like a preview of what's about to come. So I'll drop like maybe a picture, related to whatever it is, and then you see a few quotes here and there. But those are actually pieces that may or may not be on the album, but there are pieces that I have done that you may hear. Maybe not on the album, but maybe I might do a little thing where do a small EP. You might want to hear that or perform it at a certain show. But that's my main poetry page, whereas Loboverse is more just me. If you want to find out more. So,
got you. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. But look, bro. Oh man, this has been such a dope conversation, man. We can probably go on for hours,
for real.
bro.
For real.
But you already know what the people came for, man.
I know. I know.
That time. Look, bro, I'm gonna go on ahead and step off the stage and let's get to these bars, man. Let's give them a taste of what they about to get into come September 9th.
All right. Here we go. So, as I said, my name's Loboverse. B.L.U.E coming out September 9th. But let me just go through a few pieces that some of you may have heard. So, here we go. First one's cartoons. Now, I'm an 80s baby. So, I'm from the class where we would rock steady and bebop. I've never tried to be a hero in a half show. So I just kick back and let the beat rock. See, lately, I've had to be the foot soldier for my nearest and dearest, fighting off these negative cobras from night to daytime. My G, I ain't no average Joe. I really do this. But feel free to create science for them snake eyes. I'm not a Poindexter either, but I stay in the lab with a pen and the pad, experimenting through and through. Word of caution, respectfully. I still have major flaws. So don't get curious pushing the issue thinking, what does this button do? Yo, everyone has the right to express their voice, but some want to cause drama. Same ones speculating and fabricating are the same ones calling me homie like Bart's mama. Well, side note, this isn't a sideshow. I keep bobbing and weaving these crusty clown antics to gain a new lease of life so I might grow. So if you diddly doodly don't understand this now, then you diddly won't ever. So bye, bro. But I have the power to be the master of my own universe. So get it for your fake gray skull the next time you enter the Loboverse. Anyways, in my younger days, I will chase a pretty face and put my A game to the test. Word to Johnny, I set myself on a quest. She was sugar, spice, and everything nice, only to find out her character was Chemical X. Red flag. Way too many captains on this planet claiming to have heart, strong as a wind, refreshing as water, deep as the earth, hotter than fire. As I said before, stay grounded because one slip up can make you retire. See, I'm always in tune, but I can be a loony. So I may have to check with a doc and ask him what's up. Possible diagnosis would be that I'm an animated maniac, so somebody should stop me if they hear me smoking this. They better wear a mask and brush up. Sad story. Had a nightmare, I met a two feet dude named Marvin. I wasn't threatened, didn't feel the need to run. Until he said, I should have vaporized you with my vaporizing gun. Call me chicken all you want. But that statement is still bizarre because I say I don't resemble that remark. Wrong, that is. It's a wacky race out here. but I do my best to stay in my lane, so I ain't biking with these mice. Thunderclapping these cats to reality. I ain't trying to strike them twice, but don't mind me. I'm only writing to express myself outwardly. Poetry gave me a space to jam and show courage when the world sees it as cowardly. Well, call me a centurion because the power to keep it 100 is now labeled extreme. I'd rather be the brave star on my own mission than worry about who's on my team. Now, if you follow me, my journey from the beginning, you know that I already took it to Cybertron. So don't get me mixed up with these Decepticons that smile in your face and switch up on you. But let me make this clear. Whatever the case, my bust to write hasn't been like this year. My love for it has gone to infinity and beyond. Yeah, I know I mess up too, and probably made 1 or 2 enemies. But just know that if you move correct, then you've always got a friend in me. Friend in me? I don't know, you decide. And let me just voice this. If I choose to rock with you and I share my story, just know that my story ain't nothing to toy with. See, this is an instant transmission of words, and I hope you heard what I'm saying. After this, if I'm super KO, can I really be labeled a poet? Well, there's no time for playing. But relax, no one's out here posing. That would just make it harder to believe in you. Stop trying to force me to see the G in you. Well, serious note before I go. As we've come to this global intersection, it's evident that the cage ain't strong enough and a lukewarm strategy won't bring any success when the flames are on. I dare not miss the devil in the details of this world system designed to punish you. And let me be frank here, if your castle isn't strong enough, then more than likely you fell in this infinity war of enigmatic riddles that will become the bane of your existence. And here's the killing joke. We're already infected with the poison ivy of imperfection. So, next piece. You know, if you're a poet, you know, not in an arrogant way, but I want you to show off. So let's go, poet. Show off, poet. Express your love for the words that turn into a timeless moment. Let them know. Share those sleepless nights of a troubled conscience. This is your story. Now, before I commence, there's only one rule. No apologies. Push that ink to convey the unexplainable feeling of being stuck in this matrix causing the deja vu. You're parting ways with pieces of yourself for the audience to critique. The only opinion that really matters is yourself. So I say, show off, poet. Apply pressure to create those diamond quotes that would give an unbeliever no choice but to respect your craft. They say what's understood doesn't need to be explained, but where's the beauty when the artist doesn't pick up his brush to paint? Where's the story if the author decides to give up and throw his pen away? Where's the imagination if the potter releases his foot off the pedal? Show off, poet. The platform is yours. Dance with those syllables, wrestle those self-doubts, fish for those metaphors, and make sure you catch the heaviest one. Some may not realize that those personal gems are priceless. Most will not understand the internal victories that you choose to humbly keep to yourself in the name of personal growth. Most will not get the awkward phase of not knowing what to say, but you choose this chance to speak anyway. Show off, poet. What you may feel was a silly few bars is making up someone else's story. That body of work you call a throwaway could mean the world to a lost soul who may not have found something that he or she could relate to. So again, I say to you, show off, poet. Your bravery is an inspiration to the little boy who's had to endure a life he didn't choose. Your self-confidence is the beginning of the little girl recognizing her self-worth. Speak, do not hold back. When you hear that particular melody, when you catch that smell of a nostalgic fragrance, when you go for a reflective walk and it's just you and your thoughts, I say to you, show off, poet. Not for self-indulgence, not for personal accolades, but the authenticity that can't be taught. We appreciate you, poet. Take it by storm. Unleash the beast. Tap into the wisdom. Embrace your sense of humor. Please, please, I plead that you don't stand in your own way. Rock the mic. Channel your sassiness mixed with classiness. Get into that lyrical bag and set kind reminders that you're a problem when it comes to wordplay. Now, I could go all day. I only ask to make 2 requests. Believe in yourself and show off, poet. But as much as you want to show off, in a world of poetry or in anything, you always got to stay grounded. Because whatever goes up must come down. Well, thanks to Isaac, I have a new ton of quotes that help keep my feet on the ground. I am measured 6 feet 1 inch above the surface, but I stay grounded. I remain dumbfounded at the overconfidence fueled by the ego. Beauty with a face of vanity. It's insanity that you pursue the limelight when being humble carries a deep glow. You see, success has become this self-serving obsession of being stuck in a competition, another game where you're just an expendable contestant. Let me dumb it down. You aren't doing anything different. All of these imaginary self-elevation for regal status, the more you boast, the more you're showing me what real and fake is. People chat a good game only to reveal that they're liquid snakes that ain't solid. I made a mistake once of not protecting my mind with the metal gears against words disguised as a promise. Now, I'm not political in the slightest, but I too feel that words are beautiful, but action is supreme. Stay grounded, because most won't take in what you say. They'll remember what they've seen. Let me further break down what I mean. I am not this king, as I've not established dominion over people. I am not this master, as there's always more to learn. You see, a so-called king and a so-called master feel entitled to be shown respect. But truth is, whoever you are, respect is always earned. Stay grounded. Even if you believe that you're standing on the moon, you can't strong-arm me to kneel before you. You're risking taking a giant leap to really see what kind of man I am. So I kindly advise you, think this through. But you know the saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So it seems the higher you go, the less you recall. So let me bring it back to you like a bad flashback. Your cheating rewards ain't hitting. You can hashtag that. The cap you display isn't fitting. That's a bad snapback. You see, pride cannot be recognized before the crash hits. Self-exaltation is the gas to get the match lit. Call out a bully on his ways, and you see him more complex than apartment blocks. Arrogant streaks see no boundaries, so the bragging never stops. See, nobody likes a taste of their own medicine when they have to eat their own words. There's always a plot twist. Watch the roles reverse. They'll be quick to put the lesser man under the cage of scrutiny until the elephant in the room turns out to be the only security. See, what's the message here? Simple. The one you step onto to get on top will be the same one you run into going back down. Stay grounded, because whatever goes up must come down. So, something I wanted to touch on for a while. So this is called a lone wolf's howl. Now, there's never a perfect time to have this uncomfortable conversation. See, I'm no longer asking for permission to be granted my space to speak. I'm bringing your attention to this suffocating perception without being given a chance to breathe. Why do I have to hold the weight of this image that I'm bad and tough? Pledging allegiance to this narrative that showing emotions doesn't make you man enough? The fear of breaking a brotherly code that's never been set in stone so the pack can have me cast out. Having to face this everlasting challenge of outclassing the next man just so I'm not the last out? Okay, so it's stay loyal to your homies, right? So you label me a simp for showing affection. Why does me embracing someone that makes me happy get you tight? You want to beat your chest, claim to be an alpha male, but get sensitive when you get challenged. See, you're just afraid of the same pressure that we all face and feel it's safer to remain stagnant. Why is it that I have to apologize to be human? Why is it that I'm forced to not ask questions when I'm in a state of confusion? You still want to put on a front and then clown me for having a moment of transparency. Okay, that's fine, but it won't stop me from conveying my moment of clarity. I refuse to remain silent. I refuse to let the world get me to my knees. I refuse to be another should have, could have story of when I was crying out for help, but looked upon as a disease. I refuse to ignore the fact that I'm tired of fighting and being strong. I'm just expected to carry my woes, but if my energy was depleted and I needed support, is that so wrong? Next thing I'm having prayer hands sent to me when it's too late, driven to a state of pulling the plug as my only means of escape. I'd rather walk under the pressure because there's treasures in every struggle. Reflect on these broken pieces of emerald gems that I've chosen to share with you, dare to shed light on this puzzle. Because while the pressures increase, so do the expectations. You make a list of demands of what I should bring to the table. I'm not even going to respond because you don't even have a seat. You plaster my feet with what you need from what you believe a real man should be, but do you even consider the flaws you may carry at least? You look down on my efforts to reveal my daily battles, but when the shoe's on the other foot, you cry out for answers after a bad experience leaves you rattled. But hey, look, we're all to blame, right? Then you question a man's lack of being in touch with his feelings, saying he has a heart made of stone. Well, how do you expect me not to sleep rough when my heart has always been denied a home? I've grown up with the idea that a real man shouldn't cry. And as much as I love her, that came from my own mother. To be honest, she didn't have all the answers either, because at some point, none of us knew any better. I hate to go back and forth, but sometimes we Forget that toxic masculinity doesn't always come from a masculine source. I was made to accept the absence of my father's guidance and just take that as reality, forced to hold back tears, only to be left in a spot of my own calamity. Now, I don't want to be in this predicament, but if me using my voice results in cutting ties, then I'll walk this road alone happily. And please, don't tell me when you expect me to be fully healed, telling me to man up. Who gave you the right to set my time? Repair the damage of your own pages, of your own book, instead of trying to tear up mine. Expecting me to be this finished article when you have unfinished chapters, pressuring me to make choices that you can't even make. What a recipe for disaster. I'm tired. Tired of the pressures and being held against my will. Tired of these expectations when most of us struggle to get over that hill. Pressures, expectations. I will no longer run from this conversation. Okay, we still got time for one more, or one more, yeah? All right. Oh man. Well, you can tell by my accent where I'm from. I'm from London City, but some people may have a different perception of where I'm from. So let me tell you about my city. Now, I'm not here to try and prove a point that where I'm from is better, but my reality lurks behind the smoke and mirrors distorting the global perception which makes it even sadder. You're focused on the clean-cut royal glitz and glamour, whilst most are concerned with a decaying community forced to live on a root canal with little to no chance of living above the breadline and climbing up any financial ladder. My city is revered as a giant beacon for visiting spectators who are fooled by the pleasantries of crumpets and tea, added to the multiple delicacies as King Goodies to feed the fairy tale story of a blessed prince and queen who are supposedly the head of a united abomination of a kingdom, hanging onto this facade by pulling a wool over your face to turn a blind eye to the sins and guilty chambers locked away secretly. My city. Gone are the days where I was so naive to my surroundings, where I used to marvel at the structure of good old Big Ben, astounded, but oblivious to the House of Commons holding meetings for the so-called leaders who play to be on opposite sides, but greed is what they have in common, with one common objective, which is to take for oneself and keep taking until you run the public dry with no common sense to rebuild for the common resident who's forced to take drastic measures since the common scenario is scraping the food barrel when it reaches the bottom. You're thinking it's pip, pip, cheerio, but really it's click, click, then I let it go. The average 16-year-old male of the minority is exposed to the roads and has a high chance of being a victim of knife crime for crossing the wrong postcode. The fatherless boy who loves his status and seeks validation from those who sell him a dream of power, money, respect to fight for a drug-ridden vicinity that they don't even own. My city. Bridges connecting a divided society separated by a toxic river of lies, only there to make up the aesthetics. How pathetic. My city. A never-ending pantomime with the citizens made out to be the villain and the antagonizers denying all forms of prejudice and sweeping under the carpet. My city. Beautiful skylines under the night lights there to distract you from the horrors that most people won't want to ignore and choose to pass by. It's ironic that I claim it's my city after describing it in such a way that the majority won't like. But this is my city. The city that I know. The version of a city that you're not aware of. But as long as you believe the stereotypes, I won't say jack to rip you of your dreams of experiencing jolly old England by the capital. Just be safe when you roam my city. My name is Loboverse, and that's my last one. We good?
Yo, this dude is not fair, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, this dude is not fair. Like, this is what we call a cheat code right here, man. Like, this cat, man. Oh man, Loboverse, we thank you so much for coming through.
Appreciate you, man.
Blessing the United Stage, like bringing that fire, man. We appreciate you so much for sitting down with us, spitting them bars, man. And just as a refresher, where can the people find you? Where can they look out for B.L.U.E at? Like, what's your socials, man? How can they get in touch with Loboverse?
So you want to find out any more about Loboverse? Add me on at Loboverse on Instagram. Also, my second page, Blue Wolf, which is BL, 2 U's, 2 E's, and Wolf. So all on Instagram so far. I'm not on Twitter or anything at the moment. I may be on, in future sometime. But you want to find out more about Loboverse on Instagram, Loboverse and Blue Wolf, BL, 2 U's, 2 E's, Wolf. And September 9th, look out for B.L.U.E. And yeah, and we'll let the story unravel from there. So
Absolutely.
appreciate you, Spence.
No doubt, bro. Oh, and we can't forget, check them out on Reverb Nation. Go check out them singles.
Yeah,
Pride
Reverb
Wolf,
Nation and Baby Has a Braids.
Yeah. Go check out them singles and get ready. September 9th is quickly approaching. Quickly approaching. Y'all better get your popcorn, get situated now, because it's about to be a movie. Yo, my brother, again, we thank you so much for joining us on the United End podcast.
Appreciate
Thank everyone for tuning in. Thank y'all for joining us for yet another episode, and we look forward to kicking it with y'all next time.
Appreciate you, bro. It's been a pleasure, man. My God.
Absolutely.
Wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I